Hey, what's up, YT? What I want to explain is that everybody keeps wanting me to do follow up on, different. I don't like to call it stories, but everybody keeps wording their stories to follow up on, like when I get calls for people asking me for advice or help. So what I decided to do is put up a lot of my videos from back in the day, a few older videos that I had. And I don't think I put all of them up, but quite a few of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up all of the old ones one by one here and there in between my hauls, so that the new subbies that didn't see them and don't know what's going on can get an idea. So when they see the follow-up, they'll understand exactly what is going on, if that makes sense. So I'm going to start off right now by going into the one where I asked the question, do you know your neighbors and your friends? Look for towel racks. Do you know your neighbors and your friends? Y'all, excuse me, I'm in Lowe's and we're looking for towel racks. Huh? So with that being said, I'm going to start off like this. The mother, when she first contacted me, look for towel racks. When the mother first contacted me, well, show me where. Okay, but we said the bathroom area. Help find. But help. Excuse me, y'all. So what happened is the mother was caught up in trying to make a decision to stay with the husband because she didn't believe any of the stuff, even though everything was proven to be true. You can stay there and look and see what the prices are. Even though everything was proven, she had refused to believe, so she decided to stay with him, and they took her kids from her. So I didn't hear from her because, see, sometimes the people, they don't call you back. And it could be months, a year, or whatever. Sometimes they just never call you back. But this particular case, do you know your neighbors and your friends? This lady contacted me back, and what's going on with her now, her kids have been removed from the home. This man has gone to jail. The young lady that was assaulted is, her health, obviously she's had to have some surgery and stuff like that, but she's in counseling and therapy, and they said that, she's not really doing too good. She's not really doing too good. It changed their lives forever. And all the other neighbors that were involved, that their children were over there, they had to question them to see if he ever messed with them. But what it boiled down to is that this man had not only been doing something to his daughter, to that young lady, it became something that he was doing to both of his sons, because if you remember me telling you, they had a daughter that was around the girl's age that he assaulted, but they also had an older son and a smaller son. And with the older son, he messed with him when he was a bit younger, because I believe he's like he's just about fully grown now. But during the time of this, like when he was, when he started getting older, he said the father stopped bothering him. And the little boy is going through issues with the father, saying that the father was doing things to him, and also the daughter as well. So once that happened with the young lady, it exposed him being a pervert and that he had been molesting all three of his kids. That's pretty much what was going on with that. So right now, the mother is claiming that she wants to try to get herself together and get her kids back. But the thing is, the kids has been gone since from when I posted that video, y'all. So it's been a long time, and they have been living in foster care because they haven't been able to put them, in anywhere with family, because of the fact that any family that they had was on her side, the mother's side or the father's side, and they all believed and stuck by him. So basically, the kids have been, how when they put kids in foster homes, they're able to stay at this home for a couple of months, and sometimes siblings get split up. The oldest boy was able to get out of the foster care because he's 17, 18 now. And that night when all of this happened, he was out at a sleepover, the oldest son. But all of it came out. So what she's basically doing is saying that she wants to get her kids back. But look how long it's been. Also, her kids have said that the mother knew that dad was doing different things to them. And, she would give him little warnings, but nothing serious. So he just continued to do what he wanted to do in his house to his kids, and she knew about it. So I told her, basically, right now, to me, it just seems like, you have been so vacant so long, and you allowed your kids all of this time. You knew what he was, and you allowed him to do that to your kids. And then there's a few family members that, came out and said something about him doing something to a few of the kids. And this is boys and girls both. So basically, this guy is a pervert. Now she seems to have her head screwed on right. But to me, I really don't, I don't think that she's in a good place herself because of the way she reacted. And I'm not judging anybody. And I know how shock can affect any of us. I know how shock can affect any of us. But that right there, number one, you always want to do the right thing and protect the victim. And as far as I'm concerned with this situation, I think that the mother, for her to allow him to have abused their kids, their 3 children, all of that time, knowing what he was, that she's not in the right place to take the kids back. I mean, I know that there's forgiveness. I know that God is very forgiving. But in a situation like that, what's to say that she won't get back with this man or another guy and just don't say anything about it? So I told her that, it's been a long period of time, and now that all of this came out, your kids are finally exposing them being molested by their father, which is the 2 boys and the girl. So now they're going through tragic and rehashing stuff that y'all kept a secret in your house, and it's not fair to them to to have to go through that, and you weren't there for them. And now that you feel like it, and you haven't got any counseling yourself, you didn't go anywhere to get any kind of help yourself. So I don't think that I don't think that you are in the right frame of mind right now to get the kids back and have them around you, because I think that they can easily become victimized by someone that you get involved with if you decide to get a second husband or in another relationship. I think that there's something wrong in you that you didn't fix or help your own children, and then to allow other people's kids to come over in the family. See, once stuff come out like this, it makes other people feel comfortable with talking about being molested. You imagine her son as a teenager, and the father kind of stopped bothering him a little bit because he got a little bit stronger, and he started kind of resisting a little bit more. So with that being said, he's got to deal with it now, stuff that he's been hiding for a long time. So I really feel that it's at the point right now that she's not healthy, because she's been, her oldest son is I think 18 now. So she has been letting him be bothered like that for quite a few years. And I think when he started getting, a little bit there, I think he said, when he started getting, to the age, when this happened, like around 16, the father stopped bothering him because he kind of, Dad, stop, and, wrestle him a little bit. I remember, I want to say something, that kind of thing. So he kind of left him alone. But he, started, more on with bothering the littler son and the daughter. And this has been the family secret. And the mother, she basically knew. So she wasn't planning on leaving him no matter what. So I just told her that you got to get yourself together. You got to get into some severe counseling. Do not turn to like any type of drugs or alcohol. Don't try to get in no relationship. Get yourself into a real treatment program. And first of all, get God in your life. Get that Bible and get into that therapy-based place and get yourself together. And at some point, I'm not saying that your kids can't forgive you and that God ain't going to forgive you, but honey, you are not healthy. You are not healthy at all, because now it's even worse. You stuck by him when another child ended up exposing him, even though she didn't know what happened to her because she was drugged, the little girl that was the victim. But everything came out about what he was doing with your kids, and your kids told, when they were taken, that he did that to all 3 of them. So you've allowed this to go on for years. So you can't handle being a protector. And I'm not judging you. I don't know if you've been, this is what I'm telling the lady. I don't know if you've been molested and something happened to you and you're used to that kind of stuff. But right now, parenting thing is off the table for you. I say no. I say no, and leave the kids alone and go on and get yourself together. If they, they get in a situation someday where they want to, contact you or write a letter, or if you want to send some letters to them and they're willing to look at the letters wherever they're living at to explain that whatever your issues are, because she wasn't really telling me why she allowed this to go on, other than I was just numb to it all, that type of stuff. So I couldn't really gauge off of that with her, because to me, she was holding back a lot of stuff and it wasn't being honest either. So with that being said, I felt like she should just don't bother with the kids right now, because you got to get yourself fixed, because this has been going on. I'm not judging anybody, and I'm not saying people can't recover, because God can heal you completely if you want him to. He can restore you completely. But until you get yourself together, you can't walk down recovery with the children, because you're not healthy and you did not protect them. And I'm not trying to blame you, but I'm just saying exactly what it is. This is what I told her. So with that being said, the man has gone to jail. But while he was out of jail before, they locked him up. You know how you can get out on bail? Somebody, mama put up a house for him or something, and he got out. And when he got out, he was still in the house, with her and all the neighbors on the street. And a few of the men got together and went over there. So now they going to court for battery against him. Like 3 of the other husbands jumped on him. It wasn't even the father of the girl, but 3 of the other husbands jumped on him because of that. So with that being said, it ended up happening in that kind of way like that. So there is no nothing else you can say about it, because it basically ended up being where nobody else did anything. Like far as the father, you figured that he would get ready to go off and do something to the guy. He didn't, and the wife didn't. Their family just wanted to get rid of it and didn't want to have nothing to do with the man at all. But 3 of the other neighbors that daughters were at the house, even though they weren't harmed, they beat him pretty bad. So he's in jail now because all the case and process, but they were brought up on charges because he got the nerve to press charges, and legally he had a right to, because of the fact that, you guys excuse me, y'all, because I'm in the store. He had a right to press charges because they did beat him up. It's all right. Excuse me. So he had a right. Did you see how this man just cut off in front of me like that? But yeah, so he had a right to press charges because it was assault and battery. So 3 of the other men that daughters were over there that night are being brought up on charges because they jumped on him for what he did. I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. I guess they got caught up in the heat of the moment, but the actual father of the victim and mother and their family didn't do anything other than court procedures. So he's in jail right now. She didn't tell me how long he was going to be in there. She just said that he's locked up and that she doesn't have her kids and they're living in foster care. Jonathan and Margaret? Where's Jonathan? Okay. Family members, y'all. So he is he's locked up. The 2 men are being brought up on charges. The woman basically is getting ready to put the house up for sale because now he's in jail and she can't afford to keep the house by herself. And she's saying that she want to get the kids back, but they're saying that there's no way because the kids said that she allowed that, and she hasn't went to get no kind of therapy or nothing during none of this time, the mother. So I told her, leave them kids alone and get yourself together, and God will guide you if there's a time or a place that you can ever be involved with them again, or if they want to get involved, because you got to look at how much time it's been, and that the oldest son is grown, I believe now. The little one is still little, and then the girl, she's in her later teens now, and they know what you allowed to happen all this time before it came out from him molesting and raping the neighbor's child. So you messed up. You can get yourself together, leave them kids alone. I just said to her, leave the kids alone. That's all I want to say about this, y'all. So that's the follow-up on Do You Know Your Friends and Neighbors. He's in jail. The mother's not allowed to see the kids, but she's trying to pursue them, and she's asking me what she should do. She hasn't went and got no counseling or nothing, y'all. And now her kids are having to get counseling for the stuff because it's all out. And then the girl's trying to forgive herself for knowing her father has been touching all 3 of them and allowing one of her friends to spend the night over and be touched by her dad. It's all messed up, y'all. But anyway, it's he's in jail. At least we know that, but she won't tell me how much time he got. Holding him back, keep it secretive about a lot of stuff. She didn't really want to get into it. But thank y'all for your time. Cast your care. Bye-bye.